Hey Jason, Scott from HeyUGuys. Lovely to see you.
Hiya.
Very well, thank you. May I just say before I ask you about this film, how much I enjoyed Mass. What a wonderful, wonderful film, touching film. I spoke to Anne.
Maybe the best, or one of the best things I've ever been in.
It's such a phenomenal film. I was lucky enough to speak to Anne at the BAFTAs, and she's such a joy. So
for all of us, it was a very, very special experience. I wondered if it was just me, but we still talk to each other on the thread all the time, and know that it's a yardstick by which we'll measure everything else for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, it's a wonderful film. Congratulations on this one as well. A plan that shouldn't have worked, but did work.
It's a ludicrous plan.
Ludicrous plan.
And in a way, that's why Churchill backed it, because Hitler and everybody, all the people surrounding him knew perfectly well that the only place for the Allied forces to land was Sicily. So they had to come up with something utterly nuts to persuade him that it was other. And the creativity and fearlessness of the people who, in the end, saved the free world is worth celebrating and telling an entertaining story.
Yeah, I mean, it's a story that my generation, I'm sure other generations, don't know too much about. So was this a history lesson for you as well, about just the intricacies of what happened?
No idea. I mean, I might have had a headline. I think I might have known that there was a body floated up, but the intrigue and the romance and the, abyss that it fell into, and the numbers of times it caught a disaster and was actually disastrous, and the personalities and the kind of all of the drama that went into this thing happening. In some ways it reminds me of Titanic. People went to watch a film about a ship that they knew sank. What they didn't know was the million stories within it, and that's what our film's about, the million stories within the story you know.
Yeah, and a fantastic ensemble. I mean, a plethora of amazing talents. What's it like to go to work and be in a room with all these amazing people every day?
Well, I'm embarrassed to say I knew lots of them, socially or professionally, because you get to a certain age, and if you've been around, you've worked. Yeah. So there were times I was on set looking at people thinking, we've been in different configurations, in different costumes, in different eras, telling different stories. What a joy it is to be part of that community of storytellers, particularly in these very troubling and dark days, to be able to provide an escape for people and to know that that's what we do.
Yeah, and you work with someone like John, who's a formidable filmmaker, very picky about his choices. Every few years he comes back. What makes him such a phenomenal filmmaker, and he's done the work that he's done?
I mean, I knew him a bit socially because one of my best friends wrote The Best Exotic Marigold Hotels, so I've been around him, and when he offered me the job I was slightly anxious, because sometimes you work with people and they're not the people you know socially, and it turns out to be a nightmare. And it was exactly what you'd hope. He's completely in command of the set. He's so in command of his craft that he gives everyone the space to play. It's a very gentle and supportive set, but make no mistake, his hand is on the tiller. Yeah,
and you're always busy working. Have you got the next thing lined up? Have you been busy?
I'm about to go and do a bit of a mini-series for Apple with Tom Holland in New York, and then an art film about Schubert's songs, and then something I can't tell you.
the Tom Holland 70s show that he's filming at the moment?
Show about DID, about multiple personalities. Yeah. It's a fantastic script, and overseen, produced by Akiva Goldsman, who did Star Trek. And after a while, all the ley lines cross, and all the work comes back to you if you behave nicely.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to that. Thanks so much for your time. Pleasure. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching HeyUGuys.
HeyUGuys, huh?
HeyUGuys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey!